We'll be reaching altitudes over 2,700 metres for Friday's stages, and those oxygen-hungry cars and drivers will suffer.
Here in Mexico, one of the biggest problems we face is the altitude and its effect on engine performance. Because the pressure is lower, we're unable to get the same amount of air into the engine. Here's a simple demonstration. This represents the air that we can get into the engine at sea level. This is the fuel, and this is the resulting power. Here at altitude, we can only get 75% of the air into the engine. This means we can only burn 75% of the fuel. We get 75% of the power. We're very fortunate that Ford Performance give us access to a climatic chamber at Dunton, which allows us to replicate the altitude conditions before we get here. This allows us to minimise our losses. However, the drivers will still notice the reduced performance throughout the event.
And it's not just speeds on stage that are affected. Last year, Toyota felt the heat in Mexico, thanks to the effects of altitude.
Engine is running far too hot. We have to go to the road mode early on.
That's why the greatest minds in engineering are paid the big bucks as they work together to solve these mechanical conundrums.
Engine and cooling system is like a human being. Here we suffer from lack of air, and when we run, we cannot perform. Engine is the same, loses power and goes slower. Same for cooling efficiency. Air has to go through the cooling system, but it doesn't. Here in Mexico, the altitude is very high, and basically lack of air. This reduces cooling efficiency quite a bit. This is one problem, and another problem here in particular is that this happens in the very slow section of the stage. Where the car speed is low, all the efficiency goes down. Basically, air cannot go in and go out. So this will give hard time to every competitors here in Mexico. So we have to work in entrance as well as exit of the air to have a good balance of air that can go in and easily go out. So this is the work that we did over last year to this year.